Well, we asked and we definitely received because you all were very honest last week with how you felt about the format changes, and you know what? That's okay because that's what we wanted. Believe it or not, myself and the team are always looking for what you guys, the community, want, so we're glad we get to try new things that we're excited about and see what you all think. And with that being said, we're gonna switch back to how we were doing things, so you're stuck with me and you can only blame yourself. But also, let us know what other changes you all might like to see in the future because at the end of the day, we want to sit back and enjoy this regional violence too, and just make sure everyone is enjoying the content. Okay, enough talking, let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? It's the Casual, Lawton Veerkant, and this is Caposa's Corner. Kicking us off this week, we're heading to Aca Young Eagles 29 in Russia, where we have a featherweight matchup that sees Zurab Bunakayev sitting at just a 2-0 record, and he's taking on Saikon Uzbiev, who is just making his pro debut. So this fight actually makes it to the second round, and just barely over a minute in, we make it to the ground, and then someone is about to have a very painful loss in this one.
Вот здесь, смотрите, видите, заводит и делает узел. Вот это редчайший прием. Крайне интересный, если здесь еще и сдача будет.
Oh yeah, you saw that right. Uzbiev, while on the ground, secures this left arm with his legs and then cranks it into the key lock, which was almost even more dangerous when he tried to flip over, but in the end, the key lock is tight and forces the tap, and this one is over. Definitely not a bad way to make a debut, and also not a bad first win, considering his opponent was sitting at a 2-0 before this fight, so congrats to Uzbiev on this win and for making a damn good debut. Now we're going to take a look at UAE Warriors 33 in Abu Dhabi, where we have two fights to show you. For the first, we have a catchweight bout at 176 pounds that sees Aline Charilla, who's sitting at a nice 6-1 record, and his opponent, Silas Robson, is sitting at an 12-8 record. Okay, so not exactly the most similar records, and we're getting back to our normal first round finishes, and this is the one I mentioned in the intro that has a brutal knockout along with a broken bone.
Silas, a more experienced fighter.
Whoa.
Down goes Robson.
That's it.
Alright, so you couldn't see it in the live angle, but take a look at this left ankle after the hook sends him down, and yep, that is definitely broken. And also note that this left hook from Charilla didn't even look like it had much power behind it, as some of the other knockouts we've seen on this show before, but it apparently landed right on the button because it sends him down, and then the ground and pound is all the ref needs to see before stepping in. Congrats to Charilla, though, on this quick first round win, and for improving his record to a nice 7-1. For our second fight at UAE Warriors 33, we have the main event featherweight title fight between current and defending champion Jesse Arnett with a nice 20-8 record, and his challenger Ali Al-Casey has a 12-6 record and had two fights in the UFC back in 2020 where he sadly lost both. And fun fact, these two actually met just a few months ago back in July where Al-Casey lost via first round doctor stoppage, and he wasn't too happy about it, so we had a little post-fight scuffle that ended in Arnett falling off the cage. Yeah, a little bit of chaos in that one. So now here we are 2 months later. Arnett wants to keep his belt while Al-Casey is hungry to get it back and get redemption from the last fight, and this one actually makes it to the third round where just over a minute in, well, who do you think is going to be holding the belt at the end?
He's gonna have to tap. He's got nowhere to go.
Lock, he's gonna sleep.
It's over! It's over!
Wow.
We have a new champion!
Wow, Al-Casey locks the guillotine in quickly, and then just seconds later, Arnett is passed out, and we now know our winner. Oh, and don't worry, there was still a little bit of cage drama after this win, just like the last, but it seems everyone kept it a little more calm this time around. This was a huge win for Al-Casey, though, as he gets his redemption, improves his record to 13-6, reclaims the belt, and is your new UAE Warriors featherweight champion. Moving on, we're gonna head to High League 4 in Poland, where we have a middleweight matchup between Paweł Bamba, who only has an 0-1 record, and he's up against Amadeusz Ferrari, who only has an even 3-3 record, and actually had some spotlight earlier in the week when he sucker punched Sadik, a Polish YouTuber and personality, when he was being interviewed because apparently he made some comments about Ferrari's family, and he decided to handle it. So yeah, moral of the story is don't talk shit about fighters or their families. But anyways, back to the fight. So with just over a minute left in the first round, the ref stops the fighters and calls for more action as neither are really doing anything, but someone is about to take that advice very literally.
O, ruszył! Zostały nogi z tyłu, ale ruszył! Ferrari jest koniec!
Yep, nothing like a huge right hook followed by almost 2 blows to the back of the head to finish a fight. But damn, Ferrari put some force behind this right hook that lands perfectly to the chin, and you can just see the lights go out immediately for Bamba as he collapses to the canvas. And well, I guess Ferrari now has 2 highlight reels from last week to look back on, and even though the interview KO didn't go on his record, this win at High League does, and it improves his record to 4-3. Up next, we're gonna head to UK Fighting Championships 20 in England, where, oh yeah, it is time for Caposa's hand-picked submission of the week. Here we have an amateur bantamweight matchup, and we also have minimal footage, so you know the drill. Take a look, and then we'll talk.
Can he get that? Can he get the squeeze in the
He's gonna
finish?
go
from
there.
There's
Tap.
the tap.
Oh yeah, that's right, a flying triangle in just seconds of this fight beginning. So that's Zach Fry, our winner, who threw this beautiful flying triangle that left his opponent with no option but to tap, and this win improves his record to a 7-4. And our poor gentleman that tried all he could but couldn't escape, well, that's Alex Gill, who now has a 5-10 record. Yikes. As always, I wish I had another angle that I could show you all, but Fry landing this triangle so smoothly and so quickly into this fight, well, we just couldn't leave it out, so congrats to Zach on this nice submission win. Off to visit our friends at Jungle Fight 111 in Brazil, where we have 2 fights to show you. For the first, we have a lightweight matchup that sees Jamison Cisterna with an even 2-2 record, and he's taking on Attila Jr., who has a nice 5-0 record. So this is a fun one because the whole fight only lasts 17 seconds, and warning, there are some glitches that were on the live stream during the knockout, but don't worry because we have the replays.
O Jamerson tá bem assessorado aí. Nossa, que nocautaço!
Just absolutely destroys him with the side of his hand on this wild punch, but hey, if it lands, it lands. And that it did, and sends his opponent immediately down, and the few hammer fists sneak in before the ref decides to put a stop to this one. I definitely thought when researching these fighters that Cisterna was probably going to take the loss on this one, just given their records, but I was greatly proven wrong by this quick first round finish, so congrats to him again on this nice knockout and for improving his record to 3-2. For our second fight at Jungle Fight 111, we have the bantamweight co-main event between Carlos Soares with a very nice 13-2 record and his opponent Marcile Alves, who also has a nice 9-3. Okay, this is another quick first round finish, and although it's not quite as quick as the last one we saw, we just passed over the 1-minute mark and someone is about to go down hard.
Quer vir para a trocação. Lembrando que dos atletas inicia a luta com ponto a menos. E vem nocaute! E vem nocaute!
Yeah, I know, horribly inconvenient camera angle change, but as usual, we have the replays. So yeah, while they're in the clinch up against the cage right here, Alves gets the brilliant idea to throw this nasty elbow that just absolutely stuns him and sends him down. And well, then all he can do is cover up and pray that no more devastating shots come his way. Alves was definitely the aggressor for this fight, even though it's only lasted 1minute and 10 seconds, but congrats to him on the win and for improving his record to a nice 10-3. And moving on to our last event this week, we're gonna head to LFA 142 in Minnesota, where we have 2 fights to show you. And why not? Let's go ahead and dive straight into Caposa's KO of the week. Here we have another catchweight bout at 190 pounds that sees Mana Lemaire sitting at a 3-0 record, and he's taking on Adam Vigil, who has a 5-1 record. Alright, so this is the fight that I obviously mentioned in the intro about it being a brawl for 3 minutes, and as you can tell by now, yeah, it does not start well for Vigil as he gets dropped in just seconds of the fight beginning, but he does survive and starts getting a little bit of payback as well as a nice takedown, and then we just keep standing and brawling for about another minute and a half until Vigil lands this beautiful combination that just sends him down, and well, the punishment is about to come to an end.
To end this fight, Lemaire in some trouble, back on his feet, and he's down and out!
Yeah, so the fact that Lemaire survived this first combo is a miracle in and of itself, but Vigil decides to follow it up with this huge left as soon as they get back to the feet, and well, that's all this one takes to put a stop to it. I feel like that first combo really takes the award for KO of the week, even though he survived, because those 2 shots landed so cleanly, but this follow-up to send him down and out was absolutely devastating. Congrats to Vigil though on winning our award and for securing this win in just 3 minutes, minutes, improving his record to 6-1. And for our last fight this week, still at LFA 142, we're going to end the week on a high note and take a look at Caposa's prospect of the week. Here we have the women's main event strawweight title fight that sees challenger Ashley Nichols with a 4-3 record, and she's taking on Jacqueline Amarim, the current champion, sitting at a clean 5-0 record. And if you recognize that name, well, that's because she's made a few appearances on this show in the past, so gee, wonder who prospect of the week is this week. Anyways, right at the halfway mark of the first round, Amarim goes for a takedown, and we eventually move to the canvas, where we stay for the next 2 minutes, well, until this happens.
She is landing some hammer fists. She's going to take whatever. There it is. The armbar. She's tapped. Submission.
Surprise! Bet you didn't think Amarim was going to get another submission win, did you? Okay, well, that part might not be the biggest surprise, but let's get into some details. So this win obviously keeps her record clean at now a very impressive 6-0, and this was also her 5th submission win. Yeah, that's right, all but one of her wins are via submission, and the only one that wasn't was a TKO in 10 seconds, and oh yeah, none of her fights have gone past the first round. I've mentioned her black belt in BJJ in the past when we featured her, but I like how Caposa summed it up. IBJJF World Champion at Purple Belt, IBJJF No-Gi World Champion at Brown Belt, UAE JJF Champion, LFA Strawweight Champion, the list just goes on. Yeah, it doesn't get much more credentialed than that, and now you add a title defense into the mix, she is seriously a threat to other strawweights. Caposa also informed me that she has already been offered a spot on the Contender Series, but actually declined to stay at LFA and gain more experience, which makes sense considering her total fight time is just under 9 minutes. Either way, Amarim is impressive as hell and has a very bright future ahead of her, and we are all for it, so we will be watching and cheering for her all along the way. But until then, Jacqueline Amarim is still your LFA Strawweight Champion. We've got just one more week to go for the month of September, and we're adding 3 new fights to the list, so make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know what your favorite for each category was, because after next week I will be tallying up the scores and letting you all know who won our favorite September KO, sub, and prospect for the month. We also want to say a huge thank you to Caposa for week in and week out helping us with these videos, and if you don't already, go ahead and give him a follow on Twitter at Grabaca_Hitman, and you can show him some support by checking out his Patreon at patreon.com/Caposa, and if you want in on all these amazing fights every single weekend, check out his website at GrabacaHitman.com for weekly live schedules and the easiest ways to watch them all. And these videos wouldn't be possible without these awesome organizations for hosting these events every single week, so we want to say a huge thank you to them and to each and every fighter, winners and losers, and we will see you all on the next video. Peace!